Well, that's amusing. Guess I'll just have to do both, so please, post any questions you have down below. I'll stop taking questions on Sunday at noon, in Central Standard Time. The Q&A will be released on the same day. I apologize for the decrease of activity here lately. Honestly, I just got a bit lazy, and I apologize for that. Before I begin, if there are any Oberon mains out there, I apologize if you somehow get upset by this. Oberon's in a state that needs help and none of you really deserve the limbo level of hatred. Anyway, let's talk Oberon. The product of when Bambi and a monk get swanky. I actually enjoyed playing Oberon, despite his flaws. If Vauban and Limbo didn't exist, I would main Oberon. Probably. Anyway, why is Oberon considered so outclassed? That's because he can technically do everything, but he's easily replaceable. He can deal damage by using Reckoning, but Ash can deal more damage over a greater range. He can heal by using Renewal, but Trinity's Well of Life is just strictly better, and Well of Life is a simple cast and usability. Oberon's Renewal drains 5 energy per second, meaning that if you're low on energy and fighting for your life, you're essentially screwed. He can kind of crowd control with his Hallowed Ground, but Vauban and even Nova are better than Oberon at that. What's more is that Oberon's Hallowed Ground grants an armor buff to all allies in it, but the problem is that once you leave the Hallowed Ground, you lose the buff, so if you really want that buff for whatever reason, you'd best be prepared to set up your camping tent. I personally feel that Smite is the only ability Oberon currently has that is fine as is, as the damage is fair and the radiation procs are highly useful. I find it amusing to cast Smite into a crowd of enemies and then go about my business. I feel that the only way to make Oberon be playable again and have a unique playstyle in Warframe, like every other frame, is by switching him from offensive healer role to offensive buffer role. Allow me to explain. For Hallowed Ground, I propose that the armor buff mechanics be changed. Hallowed Ground would continue to have its armor buff, but friendlies no longer have to stay inside it to receive it. All they'd have to do is walk into it once and have the armor buff as long as Hallowed Ground lasts. For Renewal, I'd say that the energy drain per second be decreased, like on Ember's World on Fire, and the effects be changed slightly. I suggest that Oberon be given the unique mechanic of overheal. Basically, if Oberon's Renewal is strong enough, it can overheal teammates for up to 30% of their max health. To make it easier to understand, let's say that Oberon is playing with a Valkyr with 1000 health. Oberon can then cast Renewal to buff Valkyr's health to 1300. Please note that this health buff would apply to all teammates in the squad, not just a single one, but each ally would be buffed by 30% of their own max health, meaning that the health buff is great on high health warframes like Ashe, but it wouldn't be as effective on lower health warframes like Nyx or Volt. Again, a teammate would only be overhealed if the Oberon's Renewal is strong enough to heal a teammate's max health and have some left over. For Reckoning, really I just say to buff the damage and increase the blind duration from it. You might be asking yourself, why do you think that Oberon should be a buffer type of Warframe? Well, we already have Trinity for heals, we have Vauban, Nova, and even Frost for crowd control, and we have Ashe, Ember, and Excalibur for damage. In addition to being a healer, why not let Oberon be the pioneer of a new type of Warframe, that being a Warframe that almost entirely relies on buffing its allies to succeed? Not only would there then be some reason to play Oberon, but he wouldn't be in that jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none category anymore. Plus, traditionally speaking, paladins are meant to support their friends by heals and/or buffs in addition to doing a fair bit of damage, so the very least that can be done for Oberon is to give him a buff or two. Those are just my thoughts. Thank you for watching.